excellent strength and perfect clarity is the 5x5.
It's Real Talk with David and Nikki. Stay tuned for hot topics, gossip, and a little shade on the 5x5.
Welcome back, everybody. It is David from the 5x5, and this is Real Talk with David and Nikki. And Nikki is not here with us tonight. She had made other plans. And earlier, I think Blog Talk Radio, they are doing so they're revamping it, making the site a little bit more user-friendly, updating a little bit. So when I chose to use the beta, it wouldn't let me schedule a show for tonight. And so I sent an email. So I sent her an email saying that, hey, we might have a show tonight because I can't schedule one unless we do it later, and she can do it later. And I said, well, we'll do it tomorrow. I'll let you know. She said, okay. So then when I sent the email to BTR, they was able to tell me to get off the beta version and use the old version. So I was able to schedule the show. So by the time I got back with Nikki, she wasn't able to make tonight's show. But we will see her next time. But the show must go on. The show must go on. And hey, Icon, friend of the show, my crew brother from the crew and also from his personal show, the Off Limits Show on Spreaker.com. Thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said, thank you guys for joining me. You can always catch past shows at recycleblogtalk.blogspot.com or the Facebook page, or you can send us a tweet at the 5x5. I didn't know what to talk about tonight because earlier, like I said, I was talking to Nikki, and I said, I hope you have a topic for tonight because I don't have anything. And she had some things she wanted to talk about, but then, of course, with the whole mix-up with the scheduling, I'm like, well, I still have to talk about something. So that's why I titled this show All Over the Place, because I'm probably going to be all over the place with what I want to talk about. But the first thing I have to say, which has been grating on my nerves, and I've been trying to stay away from this topic because, I'm still not as well-versed as I think I could be on the subject of Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, for all you people want to call it Obamacare. And it's just some of the people on my Facebook page, Twitter, and things like that, I'm sick of reading you guys whining. I'm so tired of you whining. And most of the time it's coming from people who can afford the increases that they're saying they're being subjected to or being forced upon. Earlier today, I wrote on because I waited till the last minute. Yesterday was the last day that I could actually elect my benefits for 2014, and I kind of pushed it off because we started this back in October. I kind of pushed it off because I didn't want. I've been hearing all the horror stories. Not that I believed them. I'm like, oh, well, if it's true, but regardless, I'm gonna have to have it one way or the other. And oh, and I forgot to say, I'm sorry, guys. If you want to call in, like I said, I'm by myself tonight. So if you want to call in and chit chat or whatever, the phone number is 914-803-4988. Anyhow, and so I looked at my benefits and I'm like, oh wow, and I'm like, it's cheaper, The insurance company that my employer uses, my benefits, and I can only speak for me, a single man in his 40s, relatively good health, and I also smoke. My insurance went down, and not that it went down a lot, but it's lower than what I was paying for the 2013 year. And I'm one of those kind of people, if I'm not, dying, I'm not going to the doctor anyhow. And so to me, all this whining about, and I have friends that I know that are very wealthy with families, they're complaining about our insurance going up. What about the person who doesn't have an insurance? Have you ever thought about that? I know sometimes we're in situations where we need to be accountable for our own actions, but there's children that need insurance, because when you think about it, they have still been on Medicaid. Some of these single parent homes that are, are poverty level, we're still paying for it. So why are you mad about it now? So anyhow, this is what I wrote on my Facebook page earlier. I typed GASP, and I do like little voices and stuff. Anyhow, I typed GASP. I said, my insurance went down and I have better coverage now. Then I put, what was that, Republicans ? And even if it went up because of the Affordable Care Act, I would be happy that more people who weren't able to have any kind of health care would be able to receive it. And so I got several responses to it. Then one of my friends, which, ain't nothing but a hickerbilly anyhow, and he's been one of the presidents on my Facebook page, and he will be deleted before 12 o'clock tonight. He puts on there, so everybody that disagrees with ACA is a racist. And he said, just want to make sure I read that right. First of all, I never called anyone a racist. Those were your words. Sometimes you have to call a spade, and if that's what you're thinking, it is kind of, to me, water cooler racism. You've had all this time to fuss about insurance companies. Well, let me continue. I also put in the same post, I've read so many posts about people's insurance going up, and mostly for people who can well afford the increases. But here's how I see it. The insurance companies have had us over a barrel for years. But now, since the black man is trying to help everyone and not just the elite, all of a sudden you have a problem with it. Insurance premiums have been going up steadily for years. But some of these elitists would rather place the blame on the Negro instead of placing blame on the insurance companies. I was an insurance agent before in a former life, and insurance, ever since I've been working and have paid for my own insurance through my job, and premiums have always gone up. Insurance companies, they own the medical profession. That's why we have these astronomical fees, $50 for a pill. My mother's she's on kidney dialysis, and her care per month is close to $30,000, and she goes 3 times a week, 4 hours each time she visits, and it's almost $30,000 a month, and she barely sees the doctor who runs the facility. He's her nephrologist. My mom has good insurance through my father, thank God, and they pay a lot. They do pay. They pay just about almost 100% of all those calls. And since she is a certain age, she does receive Medicare benefits as well. But my thing is, yeah, exactly. My thing is, if it doesn't affect you, if you're really concerned about your brother, and I'm not even saying brother as in a biological brother, your best friend, your neighbor, if you're really concerned about those people, because I think this is how I see it, and I could be totally off base. If we have health care for everyone, less people are getting sick. Less people are going to be going to the hospital and they don't have. Here's the thing: the people without insurance don't have regular doctors. Their doctors are the emergency room doctors. They don't have doctors, and then sometimes they're not paying the bill, so those costs are still being applied to us. So why not, have them get insurance, and then they can get them a family practitioner, and they can have some preventative care, so they're not running to the emergency room or these here where I live, we call them urgent care centers. They're not running to the urgent care centers, and taking up time away from somebody who's really, really sick, and adding to people who actually have insurance and can afford the cost. adding to their the bills, because over time it's going to affect us. Hey guys, we got a call. I think it's my friend. Give me 1 second.
Podcasting straight to your MP3 player. Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Isn't this party wonderful?
You know, it was almost canceled. Did you hear that Bill was really sick with the flu 2 weeks ago?
No. Is he okay?
It was serious. Bill got sick quickly with a high fever. Jeanette called the doctor right away. The doctor said it was flu and prescribed a medication that helped him get back on his feet.
Well, thank goodness.
That Jeanette got her flu shot because, you know, she's expecting. I guess that was another thing you didn't know.
A message from the Department of Health and Human Services.
But I like the look in your eyes. I know you came with your boys, but I wanna spend some time. Let's get a little faded, numbers will be traded. We gon' make some plans tonight. Forget about your old chick, you know I'm the business. We just have fun, no time. I know that you like it, you don't need to fight it. Ain't no other chick in my league. I know what you're aiming. I'ma make you famous. Tell you wrong and I'll be the lead. We gon' have a good night, good night, good night. Tell you boys, good night, good night, good night. We gon' have a good night, good night, good night. Tell you boys, good night, good night, good night. It's the way you do it, boys. Something that you got, I need. If you wanna know what's up, go meet me in the VIP. So let's get a little faded, numbers will be traded. We gon' make some plans tonight. Forget about your old chick, you know I'm the business. We're the perfect match, no lie. I know that you like it, you don't hide it. Ain't no other chick in my league. I know what your aim is. I'ma make you famous, tell you wrong and I'll be the lead. Good night, good night, tell you boys, good night, good night, good night. We gon' have a good night, good night, good night, tell you boys, good night, good night, good night. Ladies, if you tryna have a good night, let me hear you say yeah, yeah. Fellas, if you're checking the lady, yeah, you're ready to have a good night, say yeah, yeah. Ladies, if you tryna have a good night, let me hear you say yeah. Yeah, fellas, if you're checking the lady, yeah, you're ready to have a good night, yeah, a good night, yeah, a good night. I know that you like it, you don't need to fight it. Ain't no other chick in my league. I know what your aim is. I'ma make you famous, tell you wrong and I'll be the lead. Good night, good night, tell you now a good night, good. I said we gon' have a good night, good night, tell you boys, good night, good night, good night, good night. I know that you like it, you don't need to fight it. Ain't no other chick in my league. I know what your aim is. I'ma make you famous, tell you wrong and I'll be the lead. We gon' have a good night, good night, we gon' have a good night, good night, good night. We gon' have a good night, good night, tell you boys, good night, good night, good night.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. What's going on?
Well, I was calling because of what you're talking about, and I wanted to say that, and I've said this many times, but people who don't want people to have health care because it costs them more money, in my opinion, most of the time, first of all, the Republicans typically, or right-wing conservatives that feel that way. Most of the time, Republicans or right-wing conservatives are about what is in it for them, whereas liberals and generally Democrats, et cetera, is what is about the public good, what's good for everybody as a whole. And so a lot of times people who don't like this AA affordable Healthcare Act, whatever, Obamacare, whatever. It's because they're one way or the other. And so what do you expect people to do if they don't have health care? They're going to end up in, like you just said, they're going to end up in hospitals. They're going to end up in emergency rooms, costing all the taxpayers more money anyway. So
exactly.
We might as well pay for it this way and get people health care where they don't have to go get that kind of health care all the time. They can be healthy and have a good quality of life.
Exactly. I'm like, let them get a doctor. Instead of, if say I have a real emergency, I'm having a heart attack, but then there's 30 people in, of course they would take me first, but there's 30 people in there that's using the emergency room doctors as their primary care physicians. That doesn't make sense. Exactly. That's never made sense to me. And me trying to wrap my head around this, I'm like, why are y'all mad? Because sometimes there's people that go that don't pay anyhow, and so we still suffer the effects of rising medical costs. So what's your problem? This is the front end. Why pay for it on the back end?
Because people have their own agendas, and their agendas are not based, like I just said. I mean, they're based on their own personal agendas, and not based on what's good for the public at whole, or for humanity. I mean, really, this is the question, in my opinion, of what is good for humanity. Yeah. Exactly. And a human right issue, in my opinion, but people, that's what I'm saying. Some people just don't give a shit. And a lot of people don't give a shit. They want to get as much as they can, as much money as they can, live in the biggest house they can, have the nicest cars they can, buy the nicest clothes, and fuck it if it's made by people in Bangladesh and who make 2 cents an hour, and fuck it if people who don't have health care die every day because they can't get to the doctor and can't afford to go. Fuck it. They don't give a shit.
Exactly.
But I'm sorry, I'm cursing on your show. But anyway, I forgot I'm not talking on my show. Anyway, so that's what I feel. I just feel it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because you commented on Facebook, and this is my friend Icon from the Off Limits. Everybody, he's always been a supporter. Always, I consider him a friend, even though we've never met. We talk a lot, and I really consider him.
Oh,
a
we're
friend
friends,
of mine.
of course. Yes.
But and we have a show together called The Crew. I'll talk about that later. But I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say? Oh, you had commented about. I know I'm getting old. You had commented on that same post where I put on about my insurance happened to go down, and then did you see the guy that said I never said anything about being racist? Those were your
that's
words.
What was so weird.
That was very weird, and I'm like, and mind you, here's the same person who a few weeks ago he put something on his Facebook page about this. There was a young lady whose EBT benefits were cut from 1,070 to 1,060 or something like that, and he's blaming President Obama. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
For her EBT card going down?
For her benefits, because she had 4 kids that she couldn't afford to feed.
He's blaming President Obama because she can't afford it? What is he blaming him? I mean, I don't understand what you're saying he's blaming him for.
Because, November 1st, everybody, you probably don't know this, but everybody's EBT benefits went down on November 1st. And so I guess they notified everybody. And so she was complaining, this one lady on her page, about how she didn't know how she was going to feed her kids because her benefits were going down from $1,070. It wasn't much. It might have been $30. And so he posted on his page, he's like, and thanks to our president, this is why people are not able to eat in our country. I'm like, are you an
whatever?
I'm like,
well, that's what's good about the plan, in my opinion, because it makes everybody pay a part. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At least you're a little bit accountable.
Yeah, I mean, at least you can say that you're paying into the system, the healthcare system, and you have entitlement to it, and you have entitlement to your healthcare just like everybody else does. And we're all part of it. All of it, rich, poor, whatever, everybody's paying into it. So I think that's a good system.
Yeah, and I know, and from what I understand, my father's insurance, his did go up, but the coverage that he's getting, and this is what they're saying, it's, oh, my insurance is going up, but the coverage that he's getting now is not so much out of pocket. He's getting better coverage, less out of pocket. Okay, maybe you're paying $100 out, but at the end, I think it's going to equal out, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And also, people forget that it is a healthcare plan that you cannot be denied. No matter what you have, no matter what pre-existing condition you have, you qualify to get health care. And that is the big difference in this, because people before who had pre-existing conditions, possibly like your mother or someone like that, if she didn't have a husband who had health care, would not have been able to get it. No. Yeah. And people die, that's what I was saying, die as a result of not having insurance because of pre-existing conditions. And as you said, they can't get insurance, so what do? They go to the emergency room when they're sick or whatever. So this is why this is a good thing. And people who say it's not are just cold-hearted assholes. I'm sorry. I just don't understand them.
I agree, because I don't see the rationale. My thing is, I have one friend on my page that he's a millionaire, and I don't have many millionaire friends, but he's one of them, and he's one of these. He's making bets with people on how much their insurance goes up, and if their insurance goes up, if he loses the bet, he's going to pay them or take them to some swanky restaurant in Atlanta. I'm like, seriously? This is what you're doing? So
wow.
It's pretty sad. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, yeah. But, I didn't want to get too off into that, but I just got tired today after I read that comment, and then somebody accused me of saying somebody was racist. I'm like, I have to say something because I don't know enough about it myself. You've already, if you don't mind me sharing, you've already went on the website and tried it out.
I'm self-employed, and because I'm self-employed, I've had insurance before that was like I had to buy myself. So I have to buy my own insurance. I'm not working for someone else. So I have to buy my own insurance. And so through Obamacare, I went on there and I signed up or whatever. And it took me forever, by the way, to do that. They had major issues with the website. Yes, that's true. But I finally got signed up. And when I did, my insurance went up by almost $100 a month. And I know that sounds like a lot to people. But the difference in this insurance plan and the one I had before that was $250 a month or whatever before, that's now $350 a month. This includes dental insurance. It covers many other things as well, and it has better benefits and a lower deductible. So I could have gotten the same insurance for the same price, but it still would have been better. So people have to understand that, it may cost you a little more, but ultimately you're going to have much better insurance in the long run. So, and a lot less out of pocket, at least for me anyway. So,
see, and that's to most people. I think the average working Joe, that's healthcare, the Affordable Care Act in a nutshell. You may be paying a little bit more, but you're going to get better coverage. You're going to get better services, less out of pocket, and hopefully over time, if all of us well people stop going to the hospitals every time we sneeze, and stop using the emergency physicians, as our primary care physicians, maybe the hospital costs will start going down as well.
Right, and also I wanted to say one more thing about all plans. Besides the fact that you can't be denied for pre-existing condition, you also no longer have a lifetime limit. So someone, for example, who has cancer, who gets cancer, and they have to choose between, this actually happened, have to choose between radiation and chemotherapy because it's going to max out their lifetime limit of $1 million eventually. They now no longer have to choose between the two. They can have both, and that may save their life.
They'll really be covered for their life.
Yes, no matter what happens, there's no limit, no lifetime limit anymore. None.
Wow.
So,
see?
Yeah, and this is all because of Obama. This forces insurance companies to do all this stuff. They would not have done this on their own. Hello.
Where's the downside? If me paying more is helping someone like that, or helping someone like my mother, who has a chronic illness, then so be it. I'm here to make a difference. I'm not here to take away and say and tell people you don't deserve that because you're poor. That's not my right.
And one more thing I was going to say about this. People, all of us, if you own property, like I own a house, and so if you have a house, you pay property taxes, and property taxes go to what? They go to schools, they go to libraries, they go to the police station, they go to the stuff that we all use in society, right? Fire stations, whatever, and they help fund those things. I don't have any kids, yet I still pay for kids to go to school in my neighborhood or my area because of the taxes I pay in. And so my point is that just because you're paying into something that you yourself don't necessarily think you'll ever need or use doesn't mean that you're still helping society. It's the right thing to do is my point. And the point is everybody's going to have care now, insurance, and everybody's paying into it. And so everybody's going to be covered, and that's good for the country. So people who say it's not, or like I said, are just complete idiots. That's all I want to say.
Complete and utter idiots.
Yes.
And selfish.
And selfish, too, yes. And many other adjectives I could use, yes.
Let's see. I don't have a lot more time left. These 30-minute shows go so fast, and my thing is with doing a 30-minute show when I'm watching television, it seems like these 30-minute programs are not as fast as my show, but it doesn't matter because that's all the time I really have anyhow. Because my friend on here, he started talking about the other day playing SimCity. So what do I go do? I go pull out my old city building game, and if you guys are old school, this is when I was using my XP. It's called Zeus. So I've been playing that. I start playing it again. I didn't use any of the old episodes that I had, and I start playing it again. I've made 4 different cities because I didn't like the way it was turning out.
I'm telling you though, Zeus is fun. I played it a long time ago when it came out.
Oh, it's old. My nephew was here today. He was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "This game is older than you."
It's fun though. It is fun.
It is fun.
I'm telling you though, you need to download SimCity or buy it. I'm telling you, SimCity, the newest one, is amazing. It's so good. It's so good. It's addictive, yes. I know you said you don't want to get addicted, but it's good.
Now, see, I don't know too much about SimCity. I know it's a city building game, but do you have residences or do you just have businesses?
Oh, it has everything. You have industrial, residential, and you have commercial districts, and you can zone them however you like. And then you have all the kind of roads you build. You build like high capacity roads, or you build low capacity roads. And how high capacity they are determines what kind of things are built there. Like if it's just single family homes, or whether it's like skyscrapers. And then you have people who get pissed off if you don't do things right, like if you don't take care of the garbage, you don't take care of the water, or whatever, stuff like that. And then you can also interact with other cities that you build next to you. You can share resources and da-da-da. I mean, it's very intricate, but it's very realistic because whatever you do determines what your city turns out to be like. Oh, one more thing. You determine if you want a cultural city, like it's based on culture, like Paris would be or something, or one that's based all on industry or casinos or whatever, or tourists. So it's fun. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Buy it. I've been playing it since 1998.
Can I get a SimCity 3 or 4 that's like $10?
It's not the same. It's not the same. The new one's completely different. No,
I don't want to. Here's my thing. This is how I am when I'm at restaurants.
If I still had my old one, I would send it to you. I don't have it anymore.
I don't want to pay for something that I don't think I'm going to like.
You're going to like it. Trust me on this. You're going to like it. You like city building games?
I really do. I love Zeus. Right now I have 2 places in my Zeus game that they've all gotten a plague, so I'm going to have to start over because I don't like how it ended.
Oh, I always hated plagues. I always got plagues on that stupid thing. I could never keep them because it was the I don't know, something. Was it I didn't build enough something. I can't remember, but it was always people kept dying in my cities. I never.
Yeah, so I can't get over 1,500 people. Yeah, my nephew's like, "You're doing that wrong, Uncle David." I'm like, "No,
you're doing that wrong." Well, see, that's the other thing about SimCity. If people get sick in SimCity too, and you have to build hospitals or clinics to take care of them, and you can upgrade them and downgrade them. So it's very similar to Zeus, but it's like the ultimate. It's like on steroids. It's like Zeus on steroids. I'm telling you. You would love it.
I wish there was a version for like the PlayStation 2, so I could do it on that instead of my PC.
There is.
I don't think they do. I think they have Sims on PlayStation. I don't think they have SimCity. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think they do. No, I think it's only for computers. So sorry.
Well, okay. So guys, check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Facebook, and we'll see you next time.
Check us out on Facebook at The 5x5, or tweet us at The 5x5, or go to Recycle Blog Talk for past shows. Thanks for tuning in.